Good afternoon, ladies, gents and Pikachus. Welcome back to the channel. For once in my life, I'm not going to talk to you about the Quran of the Muslims, neither the Bible. No religion. Well, I suppose, anyway, there is going to be a little bit of Christianity because it's me, and I am a Christian. But what I want to talk to you about, in relation to a request I have gratefully received from a friend of mine who I shall not name, who won't want to be named. I know you're going to watch this and not like it or comment. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. I'm going to tell you how to pick up chicks. Now, before you bugger off into the sunset and think, what's this guy got to teach me? I may be a 45-year-old disabled man who lives on his own and is unmarried. And I may be a man who has decided, in his great wisdom, no sex before marriage is for me. And if I don't get married and I die, that's it for me. However, a 45-year-old man does not decide that he's going to be celibate and maybe die without ever having sex again, unless he gets married, unless he has a high body count. This is a fact. So, in my younger days, before today, I did indeed have a rather high body count. And we're not talking about skanks here. I have never had sex with, picked up, or even really spoken to anyone I would consider to be skanky. No. So we're not talking about how do you score numbers on a chart for people you're not going to be interested in. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video, dear ladies, gents and Pikachus, naming no names, is not to get laid, although that may and probably will happen as a result. The point of this video is to enable you, young man, dear friend of mine, and whoever else wants to know, how to make yourself attractive to the person you find attractive, who is also a great person, who will jive with you being a great person. This is not scumbag dating. This is not the game where you can trick a woman out of her underwear and then run away before she realises what happens. That's not this video. So if that's what you're expecting, by the way, it doesn't work and you'll probably be arrested, so don't do that. This is actual dating advice from someone who has a large body count, has had many good long relationships and hasn't had any short relationships. In fact, all my relationships ended because of me being an absolute arsewipe. That's an extra bit I'm going to add on. Once you have a relationship, have respect for it. You know, don't be an arsewipe and it will not end prematurely. So, how to get chicks the good way. Let's get started. This is going to upset some people. Let's get that straight. This is truth, okay? This is my life experience, truthful experience that has worked many times and will work now. If you do this, you will get success. Not through trickery, manipulation, or lying. It will be success that you earned through honesty and through charisma, personality. It will be earned success, not magic, not tricks. Point number 1. Forget every bit of bullshit your friends, parents, and exes have ever told you about how to pick up women. For instance, you just got to wait until you find the right one. Or how about, you'll know when it's right. You know, when the right girl turns up, you'll just know. Women just want an honest guy. You don't just want an honest guy, do you, women? Like, you think you do. And sometimes you even say you do. But we know you don't. There's millions of honest guys out there and they are single as fuck. You don't want them. And there's reasons why you don't want them. And I know it's going to be controversial, but they're good reasons. And your instincts are good, women, so don't stop doing that. That is a good strategy. However, in terms of a young man who has very little experience, these are things you need to memorize. No, these are facts. So let's go through them slowly. You've just got to wait for the right one to turn up. No, you don't have to wait for the right one to turn up. Let me tell you why. The right one is out there, surrounded by other guys who are proactively working on that woman. They want to get with that woman. They are buying her things, ringing her all the time. They're playing the game. They're trying to impress her. She's talking about that guy to her friends. She's getting invited out. He's impressing her with a car that he borrowed or perhaps even owns. Things are progressing with other men all the time. Don't ever think you're the only guy in the game. You're never the only guy in the game. Even when you have this woman on the end of the hook and she hasn't said that she loves you, but she's giving you all the lovey-dovey signs. You know, she's texting you, she's putting kiss, 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 kiss-o, 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 whatever the hell they do these days on the end of all their messages to you. You are like maybe number 2 in the queue. 3 or something like that. There's always someone else working that angle, and maybe that guy isn't as honest and patient and sincere as you. Maybe she knows that, maybe she doesn't care, maybe she doesn't know that. So the fact is, my friend, if you want that woman, you've got to be willing to work hard and be committed to it, but not overcommit. Because if you overcommit, then that's obvious, and that will be putting her off you, and the other guy will get in. Plus, while your back is turned, when she's talking to these other guys, guess what they'll be saying? They'll be going, yeah, he's all right, but he's a bit of a try-hard, isn't he? He's a bit predictable. They'll be working that angle. So you've got to be prepared, my son. So, let's go through it. You got to wait till they find the right girl. No, you fucking don't. Don't do that. Whoever tells you that is stupid or married in the 50s and has no idea about today. We're talking about today, not in the 50s. In the 50s, it was easier. Today, it's much harder. You have to be better. So, don't wait to find the right one, because the right one will get married and have kids by the time you've even got out of bed. Don't wait. Do it now. Point 2. You'll know when the right girl turns up. Just believe on a wishing star. This kind of crap is what's being put in your head by old people who haven't got a clue because they're already married, and by women who are going to end up spinsters surrounded by 150 cats. This is not good advice for you, my friend. Let me tell you why. You will not know when the right girl turns up. You know why? Because girls wear camouflage. Yes, girls, you do. You wear camouflage, and I'm not talking about makeup. I'm saying when you're around guys, you present a different character to them as the one that you will present to a boyfriend you've had for 3 years, who you will be married to next year. That girl that you're going to give your settled down boyfriend, who's going to be your husband, that girl's different from the girl that goes out on a Saturday night, single, looking to find a man. It's just a fact. So, with the camouflage in mind, you have to be aware of this camouflage and know that you are not going to meet the right girl. You're going to meet the camouflage. You only know the right girls there after you've got to know them, and you will not have a chance to get to know them if you put your right man on the table and they just take a look and go, well, I don't like that camouflage, thinking that you're playing the game. And guess what? If you're not playing the game, it's obvious you have zero experience. And that is another good point. Women have experience. Even the really young ones, they have tons of experience. Like I said, they're surrounded by men all the time. They can pick and choose, and men aren't particularly fussy. So they will have more experience than you. Don't let that on. Don't you dare let that on. In your head, they have zero experience. When you talk to them, don't recognize that they have experience, because they'll get upset with you. And then you will force them into a situation where they will have to lie to you, so don't do it. But you have to have experience and wear it. Part of your camouflage, my friend, is going to be that you do have experience and that you are at ease with that experience. So you don't overplay it. Don't go around saying, well, I've shagged 500 million women. I've shagged all the best women in my town when you're like 18, because it's clearly going to be a lie. That's almost as bad as having shagged nobody. So play the game. Women want to know that they are making a catch. You know, they don't want a bargain bin guy. They don't want someone who is a fixer-upper, although they will want to edit your personality to their liking, and that's fine because you'll be doing it too. Experience is key. So, oh yeah, and the last one. Women don't just want a nice, honest guy, and you don't just want a beautiful girl. This is the most important bit of point 1. If you listen to nothing else I've said, keep this in mind. Women say they just want a nice, honest guy that they can settle down with. It's not true. They don't want a nice, honest guy because there's millions of them everywhere who will stay single forever. Nice and honest is a bonus that you will provide after you have passed the millions of shit tests they're going to put you through and you've ticked all their crappy little boxes. And guess what? It's the opposite way for you. You're told by popular culture, by your friends, and by your hormones that you want a beautiful girl, and that's all that matters. Trust me when I say, beautiful is the last thing you should care about. As long as they're okay, that's fine. Because guess what okay looks like on a Saturday night covered in makeup with a dress on? It looks like amazing. That's the only reason you need amazing, so that other people can see you with amazing. Right? So it's the other way round. She wants someone who looks amazing. You want someone who's nice and honest. Get it? Because if she's nice and honest, when she looks amazing, which she will on a Saturday night, you won't have to worry. And you're a very honest, loyal kind of chap, so she won't have to worry anyway. So point number 1 is look your best, wear experience, and if you don't have any, get off your backside and go and get some. We'll get to that later. And don't listen to the crap about, oh, just wait around forever and the right woman will just drop into your lap. No, it will never happen like that. And I am the proof of that, because now I'm 45, I am trusting in God to land the right woman in my lap. So far, it hasn't happened for me. I had a lot more success when I was younger doing this. So this is what you want to do if you're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Up to 44, I suppose. That's point 1. I hope you're taking notes on this, because there's a lot to go through. Most of this is from my head, so I'm not going to be writing this down myself. This is the artist's touch. Point number 2. Alright, this is not going to be easy for you to take, but I'm telling you, this is factual truth that you need to memorise. I mean that. Point 2, temper your expectations, both of yourself and of her. Aim high, but also wide of your intended target. So, 2 parts to that. Temper your expectations. Like I say, don't go out thinking that you're going to pull the most amazing, intelligent, rich and beautiful woman, who is also virginal, on your first attempt. That's like me saying, I'm going to buy 1 lottery ticket and I'm going to win the jackpot immediately and never buy another ticket. It is fanciful delusion, arrogant ramblings, alcoholic dreams. You know, any of these things could qualify for that. So raise your expectations as high as you can reach. Don't reach out higher than you can get. But also, while you're aiming high, you know, because you do want someone who's as good as you or slightly better if you can get them, which you can, aim wide of the target, because you're not pulling that trigger. And guess what we're programmed as predatory, carnal mammals to do, especially women? If your eyes are trained on a target and you're looking at them, the target is scared. She knows you're eyeballing her, and she don't want to feel like you're prey. So if you eyeball her directly and you're dribbling away thinking, oh, this is going to be my future wife, she's going to shoot out of that picture and you'll be aiming at the sky. So aim wide. Yeah? You get what I'm saying here? You don't directly let the woman know that you're interested in her right away. You certainly don't give her lots of compliments and do all the nice stuff before you have reason to. Aim slightly wide. Pick another person in the room, or one of her friends, and just be slightly more warm and chatty and friendly to that one. Yeah? Because that one's going to know that you're not really interested in her, so she's going to be nice and kindly and chatty to you. You can crack jokes and you can practice chat-up lines, and you'll probably end up being really solid friends with the friend of your target. However, your target, rather than going and being scared and running away, will be looking across going, what's she doing? What has she got that I don't? Why aren't you targeting me? And that's what you want. That is what you want. You want your target to think she's not the target and that her friend is the target. So she starts thinking, why are you targeting my fat ginger friend when I'm in my Saturday best looking amazing? You should be targeting me. And then you've got her attention without asking for it. You see? Playing the game. That's your camouflage versus her camouflage. When you get to know her, that camouflage disappears. Then you can get to know the real woman. And she can get to know the real you. And hopefully, if you're not a complete bellend and she's a really nice chick, you will mesh and things will progress. But we'll get to that stage. So let's go through the particulars of point number 2. Women do not want to die alone and untouched. This is a fact. Even though they're going to play hard to get because, like we went through, they're completely surrounded by men at all times, getting offers here, there and everywhere. And it's easy for them. They can have a different man, different day of the week. There's like 3 times as many men in the room as there are women, and all the men are slobbering at the mouth looking to get laid all of the time. It's just a fact. So, keeping that in mind, we also know women don't want to die alone and untouched. It means actually deep down in here, most women do want to meet you without the camouflage and do the whole meshing of charisma personalities thing and settle down in a good relationship, possibly getting married and having children and a family. You know, the princess marriage day thing. Most chicks want that. Most people want that. It's a good thing to want. But that's at the end. You're at the very beginning. You're not even on step 1 yet. So keep in mind that's what everybody wants. Don't you dare ever mention it. I mean that. Don't you fucking dare ever mention it or you're screwed. Even if she mentions it and tries to trick you into coming out with it, don't you dare. Say you haven't decided yet. You need more time to think about it. Let that be the work that she does on you. That's the bit of you she's going to improve. Remember what I said about she wants to feel accomplishment? She wants to feel like she made a catch. You know, she got a lucky gift from the stars. That is how you create that on you. That's your camouflage. Even though you want a marriage and children and you want to happily live forever with one woman, you don't want to be surfing the crowds of her friends and random skanks. She doesn't need to know that now. And the reason is because you want to allow her to take that victory of making you into a good, honest man. Plus, it makes you look like you have experience. You see how this all links together? Because if you don't have experience, she's not interested. If you have too much experience, she'd be interested and then disinterested afterwards. But if you have a little bit of experience that is an unknown, you know, you don't describe it to her, you just give her the impression. See, this is how it works with women. And there's a good reason they do this biologically. You can tell a woman a million things and she will not listen to one. But she will watch your behaviour and she will figure out each one of those things much more accurately than you could ever tell her. That's why women don't listen to men. It's not because men don't have interesting things to say, sometimes they do. It's because women instinctually know that men are full of shit. So rather than listening to the shit and spending the brain cells figuring out which part of it's lies, which part of it's honesty, which part of it's embellishment, which part of it's just fanciful, they watch your behaviour. Because behaviour, my friends, never lies. So knowing that, and knowing that women don't want to die alone or die untouched, you play the game. Put your camouflage on, and then you recognise, while you're talking, it means very little as long as it sounds and looks good and makes her laugh. The key thing is your behaviour has to be right. Now, this is not something I can help you work on. You have to have good, strong, ethical, moral guidelines that you live by, and you have to stick like glue to those morals. If you chop and change your morals, it makes you look weak. It makes you look like a coward. It makes you look like a sycophant. And it makes you look insincere. All things which immediately mark you out as a loser. She will completely lose interest in you. And it will be fair, because you will be a loser if you do those things. So don't. Keeping up? Incidentally, how much criticism am I going to get for this? Time for an icebreaker. Someone rang me earlier. We're talking about chat-up lines, which led to me making this video. I said, okay, because I was saying chat-up lines are useless. They don't work. Even the really good ones that make you laugh don't work. And I said, all right, tell me your best chat-up line. And he said, bang, here I am. You got 2 wishes remaining. And I was like, that's fantastic. That is actually funny. I'll give you a point for being funny on that occasion. That is a funny chat-up line. But it still sucks and will not work. And he said to me, well, it made us both laugh. It's great. It's brilliant. Why won't it work? And I said to him, you're not trying to pick me up, are you? That's a boy-to-boy funny thing that we laugh about because there's no stakes. There's no skin in the game for you telling me that, me laughing at it. If you try that on a woman when you're trying to pick her up, she's immediately going to give you the flick off, then she's going to give you an immediate shit test, which you will fail. So yes, it's a funny chat-up line, but you're not trying to be a funny guy. You're trying to be the guy she wants to get with. Now, he might be funny later on, but right now he's got to be attractive. Funny is not attractive like that. So, point number 2. This is a lot of detail in this one, but this is so super important. Women like to feel like they got a catch, not a bargain. Right? What is the difference between a catch and a deal or a bargain, right? You need to know these two things. And how does this relate to you as a person? A catch means you were great and she managed to catch you at a snip. You know, she paid less than your value. You're clearly worth a lot more than the effort she had to invest in you to get hold of you. That means you're a catch. She exercised some kind of skill or luck in order to obtain a valuable item, you, for a less cost investment in energy or affection or whatever it is. You know, that's why I call it a deal versus a catch. Imagine you go to a car dealership and you see like a Bentley from 1970, perfectly polished, one owner, it's only done 100 miles, it's worth like 4 million quid. You can buy it for 20 grand. That's a catch. That will not stay on the forecourt long. You need to buy that now. That's a catch. A bargain is you see a 1987 Ford Fiesta with no windows and no wheels, hocked up on a few bricks, going for a tenner. That will sit there for the rest of its days because it's a bargain. It's a car for a tenner. You need to fix the windows, put some wheels on it. But the only people looking at that only have 10 quid's worth to spend. She wants to feel like she has accomplished something with you. Spending 10 quid on a fixer-upper, sticking some wheels and windows on it, is bargain, but it is not catch. You get me? You don't want to be the car with no wheels. You want to be the Bentley that needs to go now. The first person who sees it, bang, wants to pick that thing up now and hold on to it and be proud of it. Like, look at what I got. That's you, or it will be you if you listen to this. So, women want to feel like they got a catch, not a deal, not just because they are good bargainers and they like to get something for free. I mean, that we all do that. But there's an element of accomplishment. You know, there's like a victory roll when you do that, especially women. Because with men, we're wired. If we want something, we just pick it up. We want something, we can go and bash another guy on the head and take it. Or, you know, we can just spend lavishly our wild wages and buy it in the old way. But that doesn't generate a feeling of skillful achievement. And that's what women are into. Women are intelligent, skilled creatures. They are artists. They are miracle workers, if you like. And the way that they can prove this to themselves and know in here that they can be confident that it is true, because they're not like us, they don't believe their own bullshit. They actually need to prove it. The way they prove it is by getting hold of a man who is above what they can usually get, but making it easy. A catch. When they get that catch, not only will they feel accomplished, like they'll be really pleased about this, and so will you, but you won't let them know that. They'll be super pleased about their work. They won't want to let go of you, so it buys you a little bit more time to relax and get to know them. Yeah? And then you get that accomplishment too, even though they did virtually none of the work and you're doing all the work. They're going to feel like they did all the work. And in the long term, over the stretch of the relationship, they will have ended up doing the lion's share of the work, especially if you get married and you have children. Because having children is biologically, most of the work is done by the woman. That's why the man has to put up with all the moaning and the pregnancy stuff, and you have to spend all your money, and you have to not watch the football, and you have to not see your friends, and you have to quit smoking and drinking, and you have to settle down. You are making those sacrifices because it is worth it, and because the sacrifices she will potentially be making for you in future are gargantuan, huge sacrifices. And the reason you are both making these sacrifices in future is because the fusion of your love is going to create life that is half you and half her, that is going to live past both of you and is going to carry your dreams into the future in a physical body and make those things come true. And there is no fucking bigger accomplishment in life than that. Nothing beats that. She knows that now. You might not have thought about any of this, chap, in your 18-year-old college lifestyle, and you might be out there thinking, oh, I'll pick up a chick, get drunk, pick up a chick. She is thinking about these things now and has been thinking about them since she was like 12. That's a fact. We don't know this because we're men, we're not that bright. I'm 40, mid-40s, so I can tell you that's true fact. So, we're nearly through point 2. You are not Superman, and you are not Jesus, right? So don't try to be. This is another big misconception. A lot of people actually subscribe to this view that to pick up a chick, a woman, and make it successfully, you need to either be Superman, Herculean muscular power, or you need to be like Jesus. Oh, I'm a loving, personally kind, never gets angry kind of person, and can magic up bread and fish from nothing and feed you forever. You'll never be either one of those caricatures. You just won't. And neither should you be. What you need to be is genuine, confident, charismatic if you can possibly manage it, but you don't even need to be that. All you need to do is be authentically yourself. Your unique character needs to be front and center, and you need to be proud of yourself. That's why I said earlier, it makes a lot of sense if you have good moral values and you already behave well, because that is the main draw of you. When you're out there thinking about, oh, I want to pick up a beautiful woman, and she's thinking out there, oh, I want to pick up a nice guy. Switch those roles round. She wants to pick up a beautiful man because she knows virtually all men are the same, and actually you can change them. If they love you, they will change. So that's what she knows. And you need someone who is honest and nice because you cannot change that. Now, a woman who is ugly can become beautiful. A woman who is beautiful will become ugly. These are facts. Sorry, women, it's just true. It's true of men as well. But a woman who is dishonest and disloyal will never become honest and loyal. So rule number 1, she needs to be loyal and honest, not you. You will be loyal and honest in the long run if you like this woman and you grow affectionately for her. No matter how scumbaggy you were before, how douchebaggy you started off with, if you like this woman and it starts going well and you start seeing each other regularly, you will suddenly grow from your natural spirit, loyalty, honesty, sincerity, and she will notice that. So work on being beautiful. Not in the same way that a woman is. Manly beauty. Outer beauty. And that's what we're going to get through in point 3. So, the end of point 2. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Figure out your niche and give that niche top service every time. This is very important. Let me tell you about what a niche is for those who don't know. You know, you've got the mass market, you've got like popular culture, pop music, which we'll go into later, that's also important. Pop culture appeals to the mass. Everyone likes a bit of pop music. Even people like me who are rockers, you know, old 90s rockers, we actually like pop music too. It's likable, it's cheerful, it's not very deep, it's easy to listen to, and it cheers people up, so we like it, right? That's mass appeal. You don't want that. Mass appeal guys don't have any depth. Niche has depth, and niche has a much smaller audience in which to impress, and therefore a much easier time impressing them all at once. And that's what you need to do. Pick your niche that you're going to work with and service that niche perfectly, right? So with me, my niche was generally retail shop workers. Don't ask me why, it just was. I always used to have the hots for a shop worker, so I trained myself up how to approach people who work in shops and make a success of doing it. And virtually all my girlfriends were picked up out of working in shops while I was buying things. Now, I'm not saying you should just pick up shop workers. You know, it's whoever you like. You have to target the group that she's in and just get good around that group. Because remember, you're not aiming at her, you're aiming wide. So, for instance, if you see someone you like working in a shop and you think, I'm going to approach her, you don't approach her. You approach someone who she is within earshot of. You approach someone she works with, maybe a friend or a colleague, and you slowly and in a relaxed way try to strike up conversations with them and say the odd joke and the odd flattering thing without going too far, and they will know that you're not really interested in them, and they may even ask you, is there someone in here you like? You know, in another way of saying they will ask you that question. Don't answer them. Leave that mystique open. But the point is, the niche is that group that you are trying to get in with. Because if you're trying to impress everyone at once, guess what you will become? You will become an advert for some other guy who is better than you at mass appeal. You know, the Herculean Superman or the Jesus type, which you are neither. Like I say, it's about authenticity. You appeal to someone already. All you got to do is sweeten up that paint job. Make yourself the best version of you. Don't try too hard. Get a bit of experience and wear it. And be unique and authentic. Long point, I know, but... Look, I know this is sounding like very difficult work, but by the time we get to the end, you will realise it's not actually difficult work. It's actually quite fun work. It is work, you know, like anything good in life, you're not going to get it for no work. It is like the lottery. If you just buy one ticket and sit there, do you think you're going to win anything? And if you're aiming at the £1 million jackpot, how many tickets are you going to have to buy? Or maybe there's a better way that you can earn that million. That's how you got to look at the dating game. It's not... If you aim for the jackpot million, the chances of you hitting that dramatically decrease. And if you're only going to buy one ticket and sit on it, your chances are a big fat 0. So don't do that. Pick a niche with someone in that you like and work in that niche. And even though you're going to get rejected a few times to begin with, this is part of your experience gaining. So we'll go into that next. That's the end of point 2. It's actually quite fun going back through this because, look, I'll be honest with you, I haven't actually had a relationship or slept with anyone in a good 10 years because I picked up the whole celibacy thing. And a lot of women, when you tell them no sex before marriage, they run in the opposite direction. They become scared of the commitment and they are gone. And that's fine. But it wasn't like that when I was young. It was like this. So I'm remembering it all now quite fondly. And I'm thinking, when you relax, when you memorise all this stuff and you realise it is a bit of a game, it's fun. It's a fun game. As long as you play it fairly and you're good at it, which you will be, it's great fun. And the best part is, when you settle down with someone, you'll have a great time. You won't have to trick or lie or buy your way into someone's knickers. You won't have to... It won't be like a massive bit of hard work for either one of you. You'll have a great time together in a relationship that works. As long as she is honest and loyal and you are beautiful at the start and you are authentic. That's literally all you need. And don't go around thinking you need to be this great, amazing looking bloke. I mean, I'm not a bad looking bloke, but when I was young, I was like, okay, I was quite good looking when I was young, but I didn't make the best of myself, is what I'm saying. And the thing that I realised when I was young is, most of the women that I liked, although they were very attractive, with nice bodies and all the rest of it, when I got a look at their parents, I look at the dad, I'm like, how did you create her? How did a fat, hairless monkey like you, some pasty-faced janitor, how did you create this golden-haired fair maiden who I am absolutely besotted with? How did you come from you? And I realised that the father is the model that the woman starts off with. So because the dad was fat and pretty useless and not great looking, but knew how to crack a joke, that's what she expects, minimum. Fat guy that's funny, who is nice, you know? So I didn't need to be any better than that to get my foot in the door. Now, it doesn't sound like a great way to start, but I'm just telling you, because you will come up against failure when chicks say no to you, which they will, because not everyone's going to want you. You know, you'll cock it up sometimes, or you say the wrong thing, and they'll just dispense with you. You'll do it to them sometimes as well, so it evens out over time. The fact is, you don't need to be amazingly attractive. You don't need to be hilariously funny. You do not need to be rich. You don't need to have a good car and a good job, although these things do help. You just need to be authentic and nice. And you need to be genuine. So, number 3. This is the proactive bit. This is the things where you write the list of these are things you can physically do to improve your chances, right? This is the meat and gravy. Start listening to pop music in the evenings. Now, I know I don't want to hear it. You don't like pop music. I don't like pop music that much either, but you know how I started to like pop music? Because I realised Women love pop music, especially the ones that work in the retail shops, because it's playing all day. And they're humming away with the lyrics all day to get through the day quicker. And if you know the lyrics, then you know half of what's in their head, because that's all they're thinking about all day. When they're doing the boring job bit, they're thinking about the imaginings of the love songs they're listening to. So if you know those lyrics to those love songs, if you know the pop bands they like, you have got a far easier time having a relaxed, regular, normal conversation with these women. Because they don't want to talk about flipping computer games or BMX riding or boxing. They don't want to talk about these things. Women are not interested in these things, generally. Unless they bring it up with you. You can pretty much guarantee women are not going to be into cars, fighting, football, surfing, pool, rugby, UFC. They're not going to care about these things because they don't have a future in them. Women only care about things they got a future in. So, get into pop music. Learn what all the good bands are. You know, the pop bands, the good chart stuff. Maybe it's drum and bass. Maybe it's dubstep. Maybe it's driller. You know, whatever horrendous type of music it is that they're going to like, you have to like too. And you have to know those lyrics. Not so that you get into the music, because you probably never really like it that much. But you have to be able to tolerate it without complaining about it. As soon as you start slagging off a woman's taste in music, you're done. That comes much later. When you're in the relationship bit, then you can do that. So, start listening to pop music now, in your evenings. Put the internet radio or iTunes podcast or, you know, whatever it is, that the way you listen to music. I just use YouTube. It's just easy. And you learn the lyrics, hum along to the lyrics, get good at kind of singing them. It's not like you have to sing them on stage. Just have a good enough grasp of the music that you can sing along to it if she starts singing it, because that's the thing that she will do. Start singing along to a good song when it comes on, because women they like singing. If you can sing along to a little bit of a song with her, that's a thing you've done together. So unbeknown to you, but probably known to her, you have just grown a little bit closer. You'll never do that if you don't like pop music or you don't know any of the lyrics. Plus, another little bit I just thought of actually, some of these songs are going to contain bits that you can quote in order to let her slyly know that you really like her. Even though she already fucking knows this stuff. She absolutely knows that you're there for one reason and one reason alone. You're playing the game, she's playing the game, she got the camouflage, you got the camouflage. So when the opportunity arises, if you can answer, like say she asks you a difficult question that you don't want to give her a straight answer, but you do want to let her know the truth, you can use a pop song lyric, for instance, and then she will think this is a smart guy. She'll still get the honest message of what you're trying to say to her, but you did it in a cool, attractive, funny way that wasn't aiming right at her. You're aiming to the side. You're talking about the pop person, yeah? Not her. So she's going, oh, I want that. And plus it just shows respectful boundaries, which is another thing I think a lot of people forget these days. So, listen to pop music in the evenings, learn the words, don't say you don't like it, I don't care what you like what she likes, just for the time being. And it works both ways. When you get to know her, she'll like the things you like, just naturally. You'll like what each other likes, generally. And if you don't, you'll have blazing rows, and then you'll just meet someone else. But we'll get to that as well. So, also, watch popular movies, love and sex movies, you know, rom-coms and that kind of thing, even when they are totally shit. And you know they are. Remember, these are research study movies for you, sir. You're not watching them so that you can get bleary-eyed and wonder about the romance of the world. You don't want to watch Hugh Jackman's latest fling, or whoever the hell it is this week. That's not the reason you're watching these films. You're watching these films so that you can know what goes on in the minds of women when they're daydreaming about men. Because guess where they get these daydreams from? Popular romance movies, books and music, pop music. So if you don't know these things, when she's with all those other guys who you are informally competing against for her affections, if they know those things and you don't, you're done. And remember what I said, you have to be the best out of the bunch or you will get nowhere. At the moment, the best you're looking at is second or third in the queue. There's always going to be a guy who knows all this stuff, looks amazing, is intelligent, has rich parents, has a car, He's going to be top of the queue. And if you want to get past that guy, he's like the boss. He's like the boss character. You need to take that guy down. And the way that you can take him down is by knowing the pop songs, knowing the movies and the music and the books and whatever, well enough that you can have a conversation about it, and as an extra bonus, use quotes in order to answer questions. Because you're wearing your experience, you are aiming wide, she's feeling like you're doing something together, so you're growing together, and she's realising that you are an attractive prospect. You see where this is going? It is not that much to do with how you look. It's not even how she looks. That's just a bonus. It's actually about character. Do your characters fuse? Because she will know in here, is this guy going to last, or is he just going to be a fling? And if she decides you're going to be a fling, even then you can work with that. But usually, if she decides it's going to be a fling, it's because your character is shit. Sorry, men, it's just a fact. If you're just a fling, your character sucks. Something in your character is not good. You need to go away and work on that. But if not, if you've done all these things, and it's all going well, and you're wearing that experience which you have gained, which we'll go through at the end, how you're going to gain that, you will strike a winner. And you will actually have a really great time in your relationship with said woman. So, the last of point 3. These are just as important as the rest. They're not as interesting as the rest, but let me tell you why they're just as important. You know the thing I was saying about a car? You know, you go and see the nice Bentley, polished Bentley sitting in the car dealership, all gleaming and ready to go, and it's a deal because it's going for like 20 grand, even though it's worth 4 million. How do you know it's worth all that money? What was the first thing that alerted you to that lovely Bentley sitting over there in the forecourt? Before you even saw the price tag, your eyes were drawn to it. Yeah? How were your eyes drawn to it? Because it was polished. Every part of it was perfect, polished. And that drew your attention. So that's what you must do. And that's why point 3.3 is iron your bloody shirts. Don't walk around like with me. Obviously, I should have ironed my shirt before I made this video. And I should have had a shave, tidied up the edges of my beard so I didn't look such a mess. But the point is I'm talking to you, son. I'm not talking to a woman. If I was making this video for women, I would have shaved to make my beard look a bit nicer. I wouldn't be wearing this horrible hat. I would have shaved my head underneath it to look nice. I would have worn something nicer and it would have been ironed. Probably would have tidied up the background a bit as well, because I know women want to know that you respect them enough to make a little bit of an effort. If you don't iron your shirts, if you don't shave your beard, if you don't clean your room, guess what? Done. You got no chance. You're in the loser bucket. That guy in front of you in the queue is going to win, because you're competing against him every single time. Right up until that ring goes on her finger, and then some more. So if you want to constantly win that battle, shave. Haircut has to be nice. Spray a little bit of nice fragrance on there. When she goes near you, she'll go, want to go closer? Because it's just biology. Iron your shirts, clean your room. Funnily enough, that is the last point for 3. Clean your room, flat house, and decorate it as if 2 people are living there. Now, this is a very misunderstood point that barely any men in this day and age have got the nous or the intelligence to actually service. Make your house comfortable for a couple, even though you're on your own now. Because you know what that says about you? It says you have ambition. And it says your ambition is to have a lasting relationship with a woman who has good taste. So take all those pictures of tits down, all that stupid boy crap that is left over from your early teenage years. Bin that nonsense right fucking now. That's going to not help you at all. What you need to do, I mean, even what I've got here, this is my studio for making videos about religion generally, so this is probably not what you want to do. But things you do want is a row of books, dusted, because she will be checking for dust, because obviously women like clean things. A laptop with no password, or that she can easily access, so she can check her emails or whatever, you know, easily on a laptop. Then you've let her use something which is yours. You don't want to have fluff or hair or dust all over the sofa, and you want it to be large enough for both of you to sit there and for her to develop a gap if she chooses, or you. So don't have like a little stuffed in chair with both of you in. That's teenage stuff. You know, your background counts as well, your lighting, all these things have to be thought of. Pictures on the wall, rubber plant in the window, food in your cupboards, toilet roll, get quilted toilet roll. The small details really, really count. And it all rolls up into one big thing, which is her potential that she puts in you. All these things indicate potential for you to have a future with a woman, and that woman might well be her. So if you roll up looking like I do now, with no toilet roll in your loo when you get to your house, and she goes through your CDs and there's no pop music there, or you got no, you don't have Netflix and your laptop's locked up tight with 1 million passwords, she's going to start getting suspicious that you are in fact a loser looking for a lay, and that you do not have future potential. And guess what she's going to do? She's going to grab her phone and go, oh, I've really got to go, my friend really needs me. Bang, she's out of there. And it'll be fair enough, because guess what? Guy number 1 in the queue has been texting her the whole fucking day, and he has all that stuff. So if you want to get past that guy, the boss guy, and you want to be the boss guy, every single one of these needs to be nailed. That's the point of this video. Make effort, be particular, stick by the rules, be honest, authentic, unique, genuine, be you. And you'll knock 'em dead, son, I'm telling you. Now prepare to have a good time. Point number 4. This is where you get the experience that you are sadly lacking, but will soon enjoy, that she wants to see on you. And the reason she wants to see that experience on you is because you are going to be driving the car. You know what I mean? So if you get into a car with someone and they've never driven a car before, they got no license, are you going to be very confident? Are you going to be able to relax and sing the pop music coming out your MP3 player? Or are you going to have your nails embedded in that dashboard, looking left to right, expecting a crash at any moment? Not having a good time, because that is what inexperience does. Whereas if you have experience, she'd kick back and relax immediately, put her foot up on the dashboard, change the CD, put her pop music on, you'll both be singing along to it, flying along the highway or the motorway if you're in the United Kingdom, and she will be relaxed enough to have a conversation with you, and you'll be doing something together, getting to know each other better. That's where you want to be. That's why you need to wear your experience. And this, at the end of this video, which is getting rather long, but I feel like we have nailed most of this perfectly. If you do this, you will win. Keep that in mind. This is your study guide. You should watch this every day till you know it. Point number 4, get outside and learn. Get experience of how to risk it all and lose it, and then risk it all again the next day. This is not like gambling, where if you lose it all, you stop. This is how I got good. And it actually turned out to be a great laugh. It's how I built my confidence. I used to have no confidence. Believe it or not, I couldn't speak to anyone, boy or girl. I was very quiet. Because I got bullied, had a difficult home life. And no one was going to help me. No one gives a shit about you in that position. You know that. Everyone knows that. When you're down in the dumps, no one cares about you. It's up to you to drag yourself out of that pit. How do you drag yourself out that pit from nobody to experienced guy? Well, you get outside and you learn to risk it all. So, point 4.1 even, you have to have courage in the face of danger and accept taking risks. That's just, there's no way for me to pretty that up. You're a man, your testosterone, your hormones will help you out, and you'll develop courage. But the only way you're going to develop that courage is by accepting to take a risk, knowing full well that you'll probably fuck it up and lose. You probably look like an arsehole. You probably look like an idiot after it. And then you'll have to do it again and again and again and again until you get it right. And guess what? The first time you take the risk, you will stumble around looking like an idiot. You'll stutter. You'll screw it up. And you'll lose. And she'll laugh at you and walk away. Take a deep breath. Have a beer. Whatever you need to do. Get yourself prepared. Do it again. And again until you get it right. And then guess what you have just done? You have built courage, confidence, bravado, and victory, because now you know. This is how to approach people. This is how not to approach people. These are the things that work. These are the things that don't work. These are the things I should wear. These are the things I shouldn't wear. These are the people I like. These are the people that I don't like. These are the girls that like me. And these are the reasons why. And at that stage, you have experience to where suddenly women are looking at you differently. You're no longer the bottom of the pile. You've now gone from number 50 to number 47. And the more practice you get, the higher up that scale you're going to go until you get to the top 2 or 3 positions and you've only got that boss guy to get past. So, courage in the face of danger. Take small risks just to build your confidence. It's a lot easier if you have a friend with you who can, sometimes that friend will be a woman. You can take these managed risks and then sometimes fall over. Sometimes you'll win and you'll be like, yeah, I'm great. I feel amazing now. And you'll build your confidence. But along with that, you need to have valor in the face of defeat. So what that means is valor in the face of defeat is almost as important as victory. Valor in the face of defeat means when a woman gives you the flick off, says, no, I'm not interested or whatever, laughs at your joke and says, that's just so cringy, it's not even funny, or, says you're too small or too young or too ugly or too fat or too thin or too something or not enough something, gives you the out you go. Don't get pissed off, sour, bitter, salty, angry, none of that. Valor in the face of defeat means you are confident enough to take it on the chin and give a warm decline. So if she says, sorry, I'm not interested, you don't say, well, that's terrible, I'm really sorry, and you go away and sulk. You don't do that. If she says, I'm not interested, you say, well, there's no accounting for taste, but I'm sure we'll both have happy lives nonetheless. Have a great day, my dear, and then go and have a beer. Or whatever, it doesn't have to be a beer, but whatever it is you do after your process of learning, go and do that. Go and have a laugh with your friends. Play pool, whatever. Go to another pub, whatever. Go to another place. That's what I mean about valor in defeat. It's as important as victory because you are going to have lots of defeats more than you are going to have victories. And the fact is, defeats are worth nothing and cost you nothing. Victories cost you very little and have huge value. Huge value. Now, the woman sees this up front. She looks at every potential man and sees his entire future, what she thinks his potential future is going to be. Is he going to be rich and famous? Is he going to be a good sit-down dad with 4 kids and, a nice car? Is he going to be a woman-beating scumbag, drug-dealing arsehole? She thinks she knows. Not by listening to him, because obviously he's full of shit and he's not going to be telling the truth, but by observing his behaviour. And that takes time. So, like I say, get used to the valor in defeat thing. Wait for that victory, and when you get it, don't get too excited. Let's leave it at that. So, we're on to the last point now. This is very, very important. This is almost the most important thing in this whole thing. Now, when you know all of those details, this is the most important thing that you cannot leave out. This absolutely makes the whole stack of cards solid. Without this, it falls over. Good boxers have busted up ears. Now, what that means is, if you're in a boxing ring and your opponent has no bruises, all his teeth, looks lovely, doesn't have the crinkly ears, you can beat him up. He hasn't had a fight for ages, you can tell by looking at him. If he hasn't had a fight for ages, he's out of practice. If he's out of practice, he's dead. That's how a boxer would see it. So think about yourself in that terms. If you look like you've never had sex or had a girlfriend, if you look like you're completely out of the water fish and you've got no experience, don't make it obvious, because all this is for nothing if you do that. So present yourself in a way where you're not allowed to lie, by the way. This goes without saying. You cannot lie. You can embellish here and there where you need to. You have to admit to it later. Sometimes it'll be funny, sometimes it won't. But you cannot lie. You cannot tell a lie. Even if you know she is, you cannot bust her lies or tell lies yourself. That's very important. But nonetheless, you have to have busted up ears. Otherwise, she's going to think you're weak. Now, in terms of dating and relationships, that means You have to have something on you that you wear or something that you say or some indication that women have previously handled you. You know? Like for me, I used to wear, you know, those little crappy wood bead bracelet things? I used to wear loads of those. And even though at this point I hadn't actually had any girlfriends, I used to wear these on my arm. And then when I was out clubbing, women I was talking to used to say, why do you wear those little wood bead things? Like, you're wearing hairbands around your wrist. You don't have any hair. You've got short hair. And I used to say, these aren't for my hair, love. They're for yours. And it was like halfway joking, but halfway real, because they were hairbands. They were for her hair. And why would I need hairbands to tie up her hair? Why would I have already thought of this? Because I had experience, is why. Now, it wasn't my experience. I had an older friend who told me to do that, and it was a very successful tactic. Don't know whether it still works today. Probably does. But the point is, cauliflower ears, in terms of dating, were those beads. They were the indication to any woman that I spoke to that no matter how good my bravado was, because remember, they don't listen to you, they watch your behaviour, these were indications that my behaviour was going to be experienced. And I got a lot further with those things on my wrist than I ever did without them. So, good boxers have busted up ears. That's the most important thing in this whole thing. If you are not genuine and you don't do these little things, you have fucking no chance. But with them, you're up there in that top 5 potentially, so just make sure you get it right and that you are authentic. That's the main thing. Like, that was authentic for me because I wasn't stupid. Even though I'd never had a girlfriend, I knew enough to get by. And sure enough, when I had my first few encounters and that turned into relationships, obviously, for her it was obvious anyway, she was okay with it. And I said, look, this was the kind of thing that someone told me to do and it worked, so I stuck with it. So we had a laugh over it, and at that point she wasn't judging. But if I hadn't have worn those, that conversation would never have developed. So, last point now. Have an intro gimmick, then have authentic quality behind it, right? So the gimmick I had was the little hairbands trick. You know, why do you wear these hairbands when you got short hair? They're not for my hair, they're for yours. And then just look at them, and then that conversation goes somewhere. But behind that was authenticity. When it came down to it, I wasn't going to lie and say, oh, these are from my 100 really supermodel-esque ex-girlfriends. When it came down to it, we're on our own at the end of the night, canoodling, whatever they call it. If she actually said to me, who gave you those hairbands? I'd say, look, I'm going to fess up now. I bought these hairbands to make it look like I have more experience than I really do, because I wanted you to respect me more than you would the normal guy on the street, because I like you. Then you have taken it from I'm pulling a chick on a Saturday night to the beginnings of a relationship contract. See? And that's where you want to be. So that's where your authentic quality, your charisma and your personality, your unique person is now getting recognized. And that's what you want. Because as soon as you recognize each other's unique qualities as people, not just as a Saturday night fling or a beautiful person from a distance having a drink, when that happens, you are very close to having a relationship. If it's going to happen, it will happen at that point. So, nearly at the end now, 58 minutes. It's a very long video, but I feel like we've crammed in 40 years of dating and sexual experience just for you. The Sexual Express, this is not, but the Relationship and Dating Bible, this may well be. So, from the top. 1. Forget the bullcrap that your friends, parents and exes told you. Temper your expectations. Aim high but also wide, and don't aim too high because it's just ridiculous, you know, the lottery thing. Do the proactive stuff. Listen to pop music. Listen to the rom-com films. Get familiar with stuff women like so you can talk about it. Service your niche. Clean yourself up. Clean your place up. Be confident in yourself. You know, you don't have to play a game. You have to wear a little bit of camouflage because she is, and your two camouflage people are meeting so that you can, get past the initial I don't know who the hell you are bit. But then once you get there and you get outside and you learn to have a little bit of courage, you risk and reward and fail and get used to failing and having valor in defeat. when you have all these things and you finally get into that situation where the girl you like is alone with you by choice and is enjoying herself and you are too, and she says, what are the hairbands for? And you say, look, I'll level with you. It was a tactic to get you to talk to me more, and it worked. So, you know, I'm quite happy with it. She will enjoy that. When you get there, the rest is up to you. And if you remember every single one of these points, you memorize them, and you have respect for this process, and you have respect for the people that you want it to work on, and you're not just in it for a quick lay because that makes you a scumbag, you will have nothing but success and good relationships. And that's the point of this. Hopefully you'll get married out of it if you meet the right one and she likes you just the same, and you spend enough time together and you don't screw it up the way that I have in all my relationships. You just might make a winner out of this one. And I hope you do. So, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it and you learned something. God bless you all, and I'll see you lovely people and my unknown friend in the next one. Good night, and I'll see you next time. And now we've reached the end of that rather enjoyable but long, delectable list of dating do's and don'ts. God bless you all. Have a fantastic evening. Good luck in your love and relationship dramas. And I'll see you beautiful lovelies in the next one. Bye now. Bye bye bye.